We all may need to borrow money from time to time. In today's market, it's vital to find a lender who can give you the greatest number of options. Here at Community Bank of Dublin-Lawrence County, we can give you the credit options you deserve. You will receive one-on-one service from a helpful lender. Whether it's building your dream home or buying your first car, we'll work with you in every way we can. Community Bank of Dublin-Lawrence County offers the latest technology in the banking industry. We're putting common sense banking into practice every day. Come visit us soon and you'll see why Community Bank of Dublin-Lawrence County is the bank that service built.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a new show here. We want to introduce you to Mike Brooks and Murray McDonald. We're going to be talking about classic cars, America's favorite pastime. We all have a love affair with classic cars, and we have some wonderful automobiles to share with them today, don't we, Murray?
Yes, sir. We're here with Mike Brooks, and he's going to go over a couple of the hot rods he has and some antique cars that goes way back in his family. And Mike, where would you like to start at today?
Oh, I don't know. I love cars so much. I really don't know where to start, but we can start in here with my grandmother and grandfather's car in the other shop if you'd like.
Okay, great. Let's get started.
So, Mike, what can you tell me about this car? I know it's a 1965 Olds Cutlass F85, and it was your grandmother's. What's your fondest memory of this one?
Well, I don't remember very much back when they bought it, but about 37 years ago, I got a phone call and my grandmother said, "Mike, would you like to have this car? You can come get it." And at the time, I happened to be walking. So I couldn't believe she even called. So I said, "Sure, I would love to have it." And she said, "Well, your granddaddy always said if something ever happened to me and I couldn't drive it no more, you could come get it." So 37 years ago, my son was 2 years old. I went and picked it up, and I can't really believe we both survived all them wild years. But the car survived, and I'm still here, and it's been redone probably 3 or 4 times over the years. But I've got it back now about, I think, original, except for the wheels and the dual exhaust. It's the right color, right interior, but it's all back original, drives perfect. I don't drive it very much, but when I do, I really enjoy it. It's so easy to drive one of these old cars compared to a new car. It's amazing, but I've loved it. It's been fun, and one of these days I'll pass it on to one of my kids.
Now, the young lady you have in the picture, that's your grandmother?
Yep, this is my grandmother, and when I completely restored it the last time to the original colors, I took this picture and took her picture with the car, and she lived to be 92 years old, so she got to ride in it a few times, and just proud to be the recipient of it.
Now, this one here, it has a V8 engine, the 330?
Yep. V8, small V8, that's correct. That's a little 2-speed automatic transmission. It'll go in passing gear at about 80 miles an hour.
Wow. Well, I saw a picture hanging on the wall of it at the drag strip.
Yep.
What year was that?
That's been about 18 years ago. I just didn't have nothing to do one weekend, and I took it and entered it in the drag strip, and naturally it didn't do very much, but I did go a couple of rounds, so I was proud of that.
Yeah, I bet there's a lot of people would love to see this one go up and down.
But it's been a lot of fun, a lot of joy over the years.
Now, Mike, you've reworked this one several times over the years. Exactly what do you mean by when you say you refurbished it?
Well, to start with, back in the wild days, naturally it was jacked way up off the ground and had big tires on it and a crazy blue paint job. But once I got a little bit older and got to thinking about what it meant, really, you know, it had some rust in it. The backs of these old cars are real bad about rusting in the trunk. Quarter panels are bad. There's very little Bondo here. I fixed all the quarter panels with fiberglass, which will last a lot longer. And basically just a bunch of sanding and a bunch of redoing things like the interior. You had to send it out to have the interior and all redone. But basically just, it's been painted 3 or 4 times, but this last time when I redone it, we had to do a little body work and stuff like that.
Is that the original engine? It's never been into or anything?
Yeah, it's been rebuilt, but everything's still the original.
Yeah.
It was just using a little bit of oil, and all we done was a ring job, same block, same everything.
Very good. Mike, this is a beautiful vehicle, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it for many years to come, and I know you'll keep it in your family. It's a very beautiful car. What do you have for us next?
Well, I think we'll look at a Corvette next.
So Mike, we're here with your white 1988 Corvette. It's a beautiful car. What can you tell me about your 88?
Well, Murray, you ain't gonna believe this. This car was given to me. I got a car guy I've been hanging out with about 35 years, and he's getting a little bit older than me, and he ran it hot and burnt the motor up. And he called me one day, and he said, Mike, he was having some health problems, and he said, Mike, I just don't want to fool with it. He said, I think I just want to give it to you. And I said, well, I'm not going to be a fool and say no. I said, sure. Well, the next day, a wrecker pulled up at my house and I unloaded this car. And the next day after that, I got the title in the mail. So it's an all original car, new motor, new tires, new exhaust, original paint, 35th anniversary, glass top and a hard top. Runs great. Don't drive it very much. You know, when you get a little bit older, you have to fall in and crawl out, and that's kind of rough, but love it. Spotless, beautiful car. I love the body style, and my buddy probably regrets giving it to me, to be honest with you.
Well, Mike, I got a little story to share you about. My first Corvette, it showed up on a wrecker. I saw it and I bought it. It had been repossessed. And it went all over the United States before it ever got to Dublin.
Wow.
When it got to Dublin, it didn't have its tires on it. I mean, people would just, as it would stop, as the guy was hauling, they'd take parts off of it. So when I get it, I have to kind of get the guy to back it in my shop, and I started in restoring it, getting it ready. And I loved it. Like it was a 1988, and it was white. The problem I mainly had with it was the mass airflow sensor. Mm-hmm. I never could get that mass airflow sensor straightened out. And the guy that has it now, I think he's still having the same problem. So, but this one's good. You had no problem with this one, but it's just amazing the way the Corvettes are. They're beautiful cars. That's my, that's always been my favorite, Corvette. I've had several through the years.
I know one thing for sure: the people that designed it and built it, they did not work on them. No. I had to pay somebody to come put a tail light bulb in it. It's amazing how compact everything is. But I do love it.
Yeah, and the fuel pump is down in the tank. You actually have to drop it down to get the pumping all out of it, because I had the same problem with that one.
That's right.
Yeah, they're very compact and hard to work on. But I still love my Corvettes. It's the American dream. Everybody loves
That's
cars,
right.
But my passion has been the Corvette for many years.
Okay,
So Mike, what else do you have? I see right across from us here, you got a beautiful drag car.
Well, this is my favorite, so we're going to look at one of my race cars next.
Hi, I'm Locke Wilford. Come to Dublin Chevrolet and find your bonus tag today.
Come to Dublin Chevrolet and get your bonus tag discount. Savings up to $10,000 on new Silverados, new Impalas and Malibus with savings up to $6,000.
Find your tag, find your deal at Dublin Chevrolet, the only dealer you will ever need.
Welcome back to Classic Cars. We're here again with Mike Brooks, owner of Brooks Contract Supply. We're here in his garage, and wow, it's an amazing garage. There's wheelbarrows and rakes and shovels in here, but also look at the muscle that's in here. And now we're going to talk about a little high-performance vehicle. Mike, what can you tell us about this nice car?
Well, about 18 years ago, I had a perfectly good 79 Camaro race car that I raced at Silver Dollar Raceway. And I had this bright idea. I wanted to build a race car. And I wanted something different. And I wanted something unique that nobody else had. Everybody's got a 79, 69. Everybody's got a Camaro. I said, well, I want something totally different. So I like the 300Z Nissan body style, 280, 300 body style. So I looked and looked and looked, and I wanted a 2+2 body because it's a little bit longer, give you a little bit more room. Well, little did I know, about 6 years later, I finally cranked this car up. I mean, it is amazing what it takes to build a car. Now, this is not professionally built. It's homemade built, like if you build it under a shade tree at your house. It was just a dream I had, and I went with it, and a lot of people helped me, and I figured if it run 50 miles an hour down the drag strip, it was going to be me that built it, and it would be my fault. I painted it, I built it, I designed it, everything about it, it's my fault. So.
Now, Mike, I know a lot of us have seen Pink's All Out.
Yep.
Now in 2008, was this car in Pink's?
It was. We went to Atlanta, and I really didn't know what to expect. That's when Pink's first started coming out. Well, it's the most organized thing I've ever been to. There were like 600 cars that showed up one Saturday morning, and I was one of the 600. And at the end of the show, I can't remember, I think they picked 16 cars or either 32 cars, I can't remember. But anyway, you got 2 or 3 practice runs, and then they pick the group. You don't ever know what group they're going to pick, so you might well just run all out because you don't know. They don't show you time or anything. So you've got to run all out to get qualified. So I did, and the last practice run I made, I told my wife and one of my friends that was with me, I said, I'm going to burn the tires, slap off of it. It's so light, it'll just spin the tires on a dime. So Rich, the guy that done the car show, I was up there and I held a brake down and I just floorboarded it. I mean, smoked and just smoked the whole track up. Filled the car up with smoke, and Rich, the dude doing the TV show, even laughed at me, and he let me sit there for a few seconds for the smoke to get out of the car. Well, anyway, make a long story short, they picked the 1030 class, and my car ran 1015, so I missed it by 15 thousandths of a second, and I can truly say I went to a drag strip and ran too fast.
Wow, that's amazing. I see you got Miss Cheryl's name on the side there.
Yep, I'm glad you mentioned that because I have got the best wife on earth. She puts up with all of my toys. She told me not to buy 2 cars probably out of 150 since I was 16 years old. She said, don't buy that car, and I bought them anyway, and I lost money on both of them. So I try to listen to my wife. She lets me play with all these toys. Don't do much griping. She pulls the throttle back every now and then, but I put her on the car because she was with me the whole way and supported me the whole time. So she's on one side, I'm on the other side. Got a little free advertising. Got a for sale sign on it just for people to talk.
I see another sign, you have Racers for Christ.
Yep, Racers for Christ is an organization where they have church services during the weekend at the drag strips. And it was something I got involved with, and you can actually go to church on Sunday mornings. And now it's a big deal. Back then it was kind of just starting up, sort of. But I got a good friend here in Dublin that heads up the local tracks, Ricky Brantley, that heads up the local tracks for Racers for Christ. And it's a great deal for Christians that want to hear the word.
Now, Mike, we had a pastor here at Poplar Springs North. He was my pastor. He baptized all 3 of my girls. Mm-hmm. He also, when he was from the Commerce area, mm-hmm. he would open up the drag strips also. His name was Dr. Joe Slocum. He's going to be, now with the Lord, but he was a great man of Christ, and he spoke quite a bit about the drag races and all how unique the families gathered together at the tracks. Now, Mike, I was noticing standing here. Now, that's not the original engine.
No,
I believe that is a Chevrolet engine.
Yep, it's actually a Nissan body, Chevrolet engine, 383 stroker V8, 2-speed transmission, Ford rear end, and they don't tell them what other car parts is on it because, like I say, it's homemade. But first time I ever ran down the track, scared to death, didn't know what it was going to do. It ran 124 miles an hour in the quarter of a mile. And
ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty fast, a quarter of a mile. He says it's pretty easy.
That's the first run. Now, it has run 140 one cold night, and it was actually a little too fast for this car. It got real dangerous. people don't realize a car can only go so fast and it gets dangerous. So I realized that and actually slowed it down. It'll run low 10s now in a quarter mile, about 135 mile an hour, and it's safe. I also painted it. No nitrous. That's just straight motor. I figured if I was going to go to the drag strip, I wanted it to be bad all by itself. No additives.
Right.
I painted it. I even painted it. I figured if I messed the paint job up, it was going to be me.
So you started basically from just a frame.
Yes, it's a homemade frame, 2x3 tubing. Got pictures of a friend of mine with a piece of 2x3 tubing on the shop floor, and that's about as beginning as you can start.
Now the firewall, did you have to reposition the firewall for the motor? Is that the standard position for the car?
No firewalls in it. This is a homemade one, but that's basically about where it was at.
Okay.
It's just tacked into the roll bar system. Like I say, even the roll bars are all homemade. We would make a template out of 1/2-inch pipe and then go to a race shop and make a roll bar, come back and weld it, and then go back. It took months and months and months just to do one little piece at a time. But a friend of mine was helping me build it. Unfortunately, he got sick while he was helping me. Died of cancer about 90 days after he found out. I got a plaque on the dash with his name on it. So it was built in his memory. He loved race cars and knew what he was doing, and that's why it took me 4 or 5 more years to finish it up.
Well, it's a very unique car.
It gets an eye catcher. People, it's just something different.
I think we'll move in now and see a very special car to you and a very special guy that a lot of people call the king of racing.
All right.
Riverview Golf Course, located on the beautiful Oconee River, is open to the public 7 days a week from 7 till 7, and you can play all day for just $25. Riverview Golf Course opened in the spring of 1977 and has been enjoyed by thousands since. Come on out to Riverview Golf Course today off Highway 19 at Riverview Drive, just 2 miles off I-16, exit 54. Riverview Golf Course in Dublin, making memories every day.
Welcome back, everybody, to Classic Cars. We're here again with Mike Brooks, and we're also here with the King Richard Petty and the 43 Junior car. Mike, what can you tell us about this particular car?
Well, most people don't know about this car, especially the younger generation, but Richard Petty actually drag raced for 1 year in 1965 because they boycotted NASCAR because of the Hemi engines. I don't know all the details, but it was because of they wouldn't let them run the Hemi engines. So Richard Petty and some of the other NASCAR drivers said, well, we'll just go drag racing. Well, this is a tribute car to Richard Petty. I collect Richard Petty items, and I love NASCAR, but I love drag racing a little more. So it was just natural for me to build a 43 Junior drag car. Now, I've got a picture. This is actually all I went by is this picture right here. This was at Bristol Dragway, and I told my wife I had this bright idea one day, I want to build a Richard Petty drag car. Well, she wasn't too keen on the idea to start with until I started showing her some pictures. She got on board, and took me about 5 or 6 years total to build this car. And I'd done very little on this car. It was already a race car. It was red, hand lettered, came from the Chicago, Illinois area, and I bought it. It had to sit for a few years and to get my business established, and then we started working on it. And from a distance, going by the picture and looking at the car, it's just dead on picture-wise. Naturally, it don't have a Hemi engine, but this is actually a full race car. I've never raced it. Full roll cage, full race motor, cranks, drives, runs. You could go race it right this second. I've never ran it. Probably will one of these days. I probably can't stand not to, but it's a beautiful car. I love to take it to car shows. I really don't care about racing much anymore. If you want to race, you need to go to the racetrack every single week if you want to race and win some money. So I'd rather just take it to car shows and talk about it.
What year model is this?
65 Plymouth Barracuda.
Barracuda. Okay. And what size engine?
This is a 340, a built 340, and a guy local here built the engine, and it sounds like it will fly. So, like I say, I might have to try it out once without Cheryl knowing it.
Well, the 340 is a very famous engine.
Yes.
A lot of people use it. It was in the Dusters. And,
Yep.
You know, then some of them moved up to what, the 440.
That's right.
So, very good. Yeah, long live the king.
That's right.
Yeah, keeping them memories around. I remember as a little boy watching NASCAR, and there was King Richard winning his races.
Well, I was fortunate enough to hang out at Richard Petty's garage a couple of times and hang out with him and the guys that work for him. And I've got Richard's autograph on the hood. I've got Dale Inman, who was his crew chief for many, many years, was his cousin. And then this last couple of months ago, went and hung out with him again. And I actually got Maurice Petty to sign the hood, who was his brother, who was his engine builder through all the years. So that means a lot to me. I just love those. I've got them clear coated so they won't ever rub off the hood.
So you've actually took this to the Petty Fest?
Yes, a couple of times, yes.
Been to it. Wow. Now where's that held out every year?
It's in Level Cross, North Carolina, at his original race shop that was started in the 50s. They build cars there now, but the race cars are built elsewhere. But it's still, that's where his museum is, and they have car shows and functions all during the year. And the guy that's Richard Petty's right-hand man, Larry Laney, he invites me to some of the things, and if I can go, I just enjoy going. It's a bunch of great group of people.
Is anyone else who brings the replica of the drag car? The only year that he dragged? Is either up there?
I'm glad you asked, but the last Petty Fest I went to a couple of months ago, the original 43 Junior was brought out. The garage has been restoring it for the past 3 years. And it's very ironic, the people that own it are two brothers from Chicago, Illinois. This is where my car came from. Of course, they didn't know the history about mine. I thought they might would, but two brothers in Chicago own it. Petty's Garage restored it. They actually brought it outside and had it on display and cranked it when I was there a couple of months ago. Very, very cool. And they're going to show it around the United States for about a year, and then I got a feeling it'll end up in a museum.
Wow. I bet you try to get a lot of people who tries to purchase this one from you.
Well, not yet, but hopefully. One of these days. Maybe it'll be big enough money for me to think about it.
What do you have under this cover over here?
Well, that is a 2015 Ford Mustang 50th anniversary. All right, they only made 1,964 of these. Like I say, a 15 Ford Mustang GT. You could only get white ones or blue ones, automatic or 5-speed. This car is a white car, and it's a automatic.
How many miles do you have on?
It had 8 miles on it when I picked it up with my trailer. Never has been driven. Cover's never been off of it. I bought this car strictly just to try to sell, and if I can break even, I'm fine with that. I love cars. I don't care if it's a rusty frame in the woods or a brand new 15 Mustang. I love every car ever made.
I believe you got a variety of ones. You had Fords, you had Chevrolets, Oldsmobiles, Plymouths.
Yep.
Wide selection of them. So this was the 60th year.
Right.
Mustang.
They're all serial numbered. There's a plaque on the dash. It's not souped up. It's just a standard GT. It's just a special edition. And this one's serial number 1400 of 1964.
Wow. So you probably would not see this particular car out on the road every day.
No. And I think it'd be, you know, if somebody bought it and held on to it for a few years, it'd be a high-dollar car one of these days.
Hey guys, this is Kurt from Your Mattress Matters, Dublin's only premier mattress specialty store. We've already talked about the special treat that we have right now, the official Duck Dynasty recliners. As you can see, I'm in them. They're good, they're comfortable, they're priced right. You got to come down and check them out. And while you're doing it, come on and check out our special right now. We have a King memory foam set for only $6.99. That's right, a King memory foam set, only $6.99. 100% American made. and manufactured, and it comes with a full 15-year replacement warranty, only $699. Here at Your Mattress Matters, we deliver what everybody else promises, and that's a good night's sleep. You don't have to be a millionaire to sleep like one. Come see us at Your Mattress Matters, the Williamsburg Shopping Center.
I was noticing a lot of stuff you have with Richard Petty on. How long have you been collecting the Richard Petty stuff?
If I had to guess, probably about 25 years. And first, I kind of kept 2 or 3 different items, and I got to thinking, boy, this is going to get expensive. So I just stuck to 43, and glad I did, because Richard's a very respectable guy, and anything 43 on it, I collect. My granddaughter, when I have a special needs granddaughter, and when she was about 2 years old, she knew who Richard Petty was. We could go to any flea market anywhere, and she could spot something with a 43 on it within 10 minutes. So it gave me and her a chance to bond over the years. She's 18 years old now and still buys me stuff at Walmart with 43 on it. Still gives me every card she ever writes me. It's got a 43 on it and a little picture of a car. So it gave me a chance to bond with her over the years.
Now, what's your granddaughter's name?
Her name's Leah Brooks.
Leah Brooks.
She lives in Byron, and she comes to stay with us all the time on the weekends. And like I say, she still can spot something 43 a mile off.
I think you're Byron. You grew up in Byron?
About 4 or 5 miles from Byron.
Now, if I remember right, you kind of grew up around that drag strip.
Yep, well, the drag strip was in Warner Robins, and that was one reason I kind of got the car bug. My aunt lived right across the street from the Warner Robins drag strip back in the day, and she ran all the snack bars. So every weekend we were at the drag strip. We're either selling hamburgers or hot dogs and peanuts, or either cleaning up the track or getting the track ready. So I mean, it was just instilled in me every weekend. That's what we done. My whole family, my grandmother, my cousins, my mama, everybody worked at the drag strip every weekend. And we kind of got a little bit older, and me and my cousin got promoted to the starting line. Well, back then you had to sweep up every time somebody done a burnout. And
explain to our audience, what is a burnout?
all right, a burnout is you run your car through a little patch of water, probably about two foot wide, and you get your tires wet. Well, the new cars now have got a lock on the front brake. Well, you lock the front brakes where the back tires will spin, and you get them hot. That's what a burnout is. You get them hot, which means they get sticky. So when you get up on the starting line, instead of spinning, 99% of the time, the car will go and not spin. So that's what a burnout is. That's the coolest part of a drag racing, burnout.
I remember going into Warner Robins when I was little. I grew up with a childhood friend of mine. His dad had a drag car, and we'd go up there, and I remember we would always get to shoot the Joy dish detergent.
Yep, that's right.
We would shoot the Joy dish detergent under there where he could do the burnout.
Yep, back in the old days, they had it in a gallon jug or something.
They would. They'd shoot it out there like that, and then you'd have to go spray a radiator down.
That's right. There's a lot more work back in the day.
It was a lot of work back in the day, yeah. But now you go to commerce, it's all professional. And
even my little car in yonder, the Z car, I can let go of one button. It takes off by itself, changes gears by itself. It's smarter than I am. All I got to do is hold on the screen.
Yeah. Now, Mike, what can you tell me about this display case?
Well, this case here has got what they call 1/24 scale cars in it, and that's probably about my nicest case in the building, because I got 2 or 3 rows of autographs. And
exactly how many autographs do you have? I've noticed I've seen Richard Petty sign a lot of these things in here.
Yeah, if I had to guess, I probably got 50 to 60 things autographed.
Wow. Now, is that his actual hat?
No, my wife gave me that for Christmas. It came from the museum. She called them one Christmas, got Richard Petty to sign it, and sent it to the house, and that was one of my Christmas presents 4 or 5 years ago from my wife.
Wow. I see you have the highly promoted son of a gun STP.
That's right. Like I say, anything with STP or 43 on it, we don't care what. We got taco shells, STP, son of a gun, puzzles. Everybody always asks me, what's my favorite thing? And I guess I have to say the next thing I find. I don't really have a favorite. My favorite thing right now is a helmet I bought in Daytona here a month or so ago, and it'll be my favorite till I buy the next thing.
Amen.
But I got Richard's autograph, Dale's autograph. I got the whole family's autograph. Adam Petty that passed away in a car wreck was the grandson. I've got his autograph. I got Linda Petty. She passed away a couple of years ago. I got her autograph, so I'm really proud to have all of them's autograph.
Hey guys, this is Kurt from Your Mattress Matters, Dublin's only premier mattress specialty store. We've already talked about the special treat that we have right now, the official Duck Dynasty recliners. As you can see, I'm in them. They're good, they're comfortable, they're priced right. You got to come down and check them out. And while you're doing it, come on and check out our special right now. We have a King memory foam set for only $6.99. That's right, a King memory foam set, only $6.99. 100% American made and manufactured, and it comes with a full 15-year replacement warranty, only $6.99. Here at Your Mattress Matters, we deliver what everybody else promises, and that's a good night's sleep. You don't have to be a millionaire to sleep like one. Come see us at Your Mattress Matters, the Williamsburg Shopping Center.
Welcome back to Classic Cars. Mike, what can you tell me about this display case?
Well, this has got a couple of autographs. This is just a multitude of all kind of things. I'm kind of running out of room, so if I buy something little, I'll squeeze it in here and there. But got anything from models to model engines of the Hemi, special edition 1984 car where he won his last 200th race. Richard Petty paint, shot glasses, belt buckles, knives, you name it. Got a few autographs in here too, and I know a lot of people, you always hear Richard Petty stand there and sign autographs. Well, I can say I've been around him a few times, and he will sign every single person's autograph to the last person is in line, which it really amazes me because it's hundreds and hundreds. I would think he's probably signed more autographs than anybody in the world, but he'll sit there in the hot sun and sign every single autograph. Down here at the bottom, can't see it right now, but even when my kids was little, the little derby cars, even they made their derby cars 43s.
Yeah, the old Pinewood Derby.
The Pinewood Derby, that's right. So I got a couple of them down there.
I noticed by looking, you got a couple of the Barry Wright cars, the Warrior cars, which they run on the late model series circuits, and you have goodies sponsored by Richard Petty. It's neat to see he sponsored a lot of different types of racing.
He has.
Not just NASCAR.
He has, and everybody associates him with Plymouth. But Richard Petty drove every name, brand, race car you can drive. I think if they footed the bill, he'd drive a Volkswagen.
Amen. Well, I see one thing right here. I see lawnmowers.
That's something I used to play with during the winter. It'd get a little bit slow at work, and I'd get an old lawnmower and completely redo it. And I built 2 different lawnmowers, and I used to take them to church functions and car shows just to show them off, just to have fun with. Didn't ever cut grass with them. But they were running and functional, but they kind of got in the way, and everybody knew I had them. So one day I told my wife, I said, let's donate them to the museum for them to auction them off and give the money to the Victory Junction camp for kids. And she agreed with me, so we had a friend of ours that didn't live too far from there. He came and picked them up, and we actually were able to go and watch them be auctioned off. And I got a picture of Richard Petty signing one of them for the man that bought it. So that was pretty cool to be able to do that, to use them and play with them and enjoy them, and then give them on for somebody else, give them away for somebody else to enjoy.
That's very neat. And the golf cart, you still have this golf cart?
Still got it. It's been redone 2 or 3 times. It's out there in the garage with a sprayer on it right now, but yep, still got the Richard Petty golf cart. But I love to collect. I've got boxes and boxes of stuff up in the attic, and I don't think Cheryl knows it, but I bought about 80 more cars from a friend of mine up in Pennsylvania. They hadn't even got here yet, so I have no idea where I'm gonna put them, but it's been a great hobby. I feel like everybody needs a hobby. It's been fun. One of these days I'll be through collecting and let somebody pick up from where I left off.
Amen. Well, Mike, what can you tell me about the jacket that sits behind us?
Well, I bought that at an auction. Every function you ever go to his garage, they have an auction to donate money to the Victory Junction camp for kids, which is in Adam Petty's name when he got killed. And I always go overboard at the auction. And somebody needs to tie me in the truck to hold me down, but I saw this jacket and I really liked it, and it was kind of some different colors, and Richard Petty autographed it. So that was one of my prized things I bought at the auction.
And the helmet here?
Helmet, found it in Daytona a couple of months ago while on vacation. It's one of the crew members' helmets, and it's kind of an old one because it's Petty Enterprises, so that tells you it's probably 10 to 12 years old, and Richard and Kyle has signed it.
Now, saying the crew member, this is one of those that gas and jack and
Yes.
change tires on the cars.
Yep.
You have to wear the helmets.
Yes. Wow. And then I got a nose piece that we bought up on the wall. It's one of the old orange colored pieces from his paint scheme, and we bought it just because we didn't have anything really that color, so I'm kind of proud of it too. But you name it, they've advertised it through Richard Petty. It's not mass produced like some of the race teams, so you kind of have to look for some of the stuff, but not too many duplicates in here. It's just been a lot of fun. I still enjoy it.
Well, Mike, we sure enjoy you letting us come in today and see what all you have, but I have one question for you. Which one's your favorite?
The next one.
The next one. Mike, thank you for letting us come out today. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching Classic Cars. And stay tuned for our next episode where we go find more of American's Muscle in your backyard.